I know that Raker draws from both punk and workwear. How did those two influences come together?
I was always really into punk music. Well, not particularly just the music, but I was always fascinated by it when I was younger. The music itself, but also the way they looked, was always kind of like, what is going on? You look at like the Sex Pistols, Sid Vicious, Clash. That was like my first introduction to it. And then I kind of started to look into denim more when I was studying. And I was more into that fabric, and then I then started to learn more about workwear jackets and French chore jackets and vintage denim and stuff in America and Japan and stuff like that, and tried to kind of merge them both together. I had quite an inspirational art teacher at school. Actually, I had two art teachers at school who were like a big influence, Pete Edwards and Dave Swales, shout out. But they would teach me about people who I just had kind of like photographers and artists. For example, Martin Parr, who is like a massive inspiration to me and the brand, where his kind of focus is just the normal stuff, but the way he shoots it is kind of amazing. Other things like Richard Billingham was a photographer who he introduced me to, which is kind of like another thing where it's a bit like punk almost, where you're looking at it, looking at the pictures. It's a lot to your brain to process. I tried to like merge the worlds. And then another thing that they would teach me about was the YBA artists in the 90s, like Damien Hirst and Tracy Emin, people like that. So I really got into realizing that art isn't just about painting and stuff like that. It's more, there's like a whole other kind of like modern art that was a huge influence. And then, yeah, I just tried to slowly merge and kind of pull everything together. I feel like now I've got to the point where all the little things and all the little moments of inspiration I've kind of tried to, and still do try to put into the brand. From everything from obviously the design, but the names of each of the products and just everything really. Everything's got a little subtle meaning about everything.